Ramadan here in Egypt. And it's very interesting, let's say it like that. It's a very interesting period of time to be here. So, what is going on with the twin flames this week? It's very I discovered a lot of masculine, very masculine energy is approaching, and that has also to do with Saturn. You know, Saturn went into Aries. Let's drive it a bit. So Saturn went into Aries, and when that happened, it was really interesting because I felt the shift. You probably all felt the shift. A lot of fire, and that needs to be balanced out with the feminine energy. And it's like the feminine was more in the receiving mode, more in the laid back mode, and now she is like catapult out of that rest and energy, and that is pretty challenging at the moment. So they both need to, balance out and finding the balance again within themselves. So, and with themselves, I hear. So there is a huge shift in the twin flames and in the whole journey. So that journey is, it can be that the journey stops, or it can be that the journey starts again. It's endings, new beginnings, and everything what was old paradigm, old habits, it doesn't fulfill you anymore. So what is happening, the old systems and the old energy that comes in, that is really making way for the old to move out and the new to come in. And I think that is a thing also that is connected with the planetary energies. So the divine feminine has to come more into action, has to more come into the more, a little bit more to the masculine energy, and doing, instead of relaxing back, sitting down, receiving. It's more a time of getting into action. Maybe you want to change a routine in your life or in your system that is more compatible with the divine masculine, or the other way around, that the divine masculine says, okay, I'm going to shift my behavior and being more in alignment with the divine feminine. So it can go two ways because of that huge shift we had with the planetary systems. So yeah, let's see what is coming out. Wow, beautiful here, the integration. Make sure, divine feminine, when you're making that shift, of change, that you also learn to integrate it, so that you need a little bit more time to integrate those energies in your system and in your body. And the divine masculine has more also restore again, restore, come back in rest. So maybe they're changing energies. That's so weird what I hear. Maybe they need to change the energies. That the divine masculine needs to become more in the rest mode, and the divine feminine more in the doing mode. It could be that it varies, and that's really beautiful. For the divine feminine, breathe in the sun, be in presence, and that is in this time of the transition, sometimes not easy to be in that present moment, because Saturn and Neptune going into Aries. Aries is a very mental sign. So it is fire, it's doing. And then we come into Saturn, so it can create all kind of things in your mind, you know. Maybe it's you can't get your mind still. So that is what needs to be done then, you know, going into your body, feeling into your body, drop down into the body and into the earth. And you get pineal gland activations, and that could also be that because you had so many activations, that your mind is overworking, and now it's time, you know, to say, okay, I'm going back a bit. I'm dropping in my body. I'm going into feeling. I'm going into meditate. I need to release that mindset and old patterns I had, so I can, you know, drop it in and ground it into my system, because it needs to change. You know, there are things that you are forced to change. There is no way around it. Sometimes we say, okay, I'm in that state of mind that I don't have to change. I'm in that comfortable state, but you need to, because the planets are shifting and turning around. So that's really interesting. Here, integration. Integrate that energy into your system. You know, that is needed. Integration, not only for yourself, but for others also. You know, there is a reunion coming up that you weren't expecting. So it could be a reunion of people, you know, from the past. Reunion coming up from maybe school, you know. There are some energies from that past. Let go of defenses, you know. Sometimes we're going into a defense mode, you know, to react on things that you think it's not fair, or, you know. And when we are thinking about it, you need to think twice, because it's all divine orchestrated. Everything you do, everything you experience, it's all already written, you know. So open the door to family, open the door to your soul family, open the doors to get that reunion, you know, coming in for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It's in the heart space of the divine feminine that says, okay, this is my soul family, or I know you from a long time ago. I know you from a past life, you know, and that all these things are getting back together, you know. And we don't have to do some things for it, but the soul will recognize each other, you know, and saying, okay, this is in a reunion. We need to figure things out. What happened here? What happened there? What happened in a past life? You know, now it's all coming together, and it's really, really amazing and beautiful. You went through an initiation, divine feminine. You had initiation after initiation after initiation. And all these energies are moving and shifting. So, you go in deep trust and healing. So there's a deep healing going on for you. Listen carefully. Listen to what your spirit guides are saying. Listen to the people around you, because they probably speak something out, and that's exactly what you need to hear at that time, at that moment. Or a song is coming up on the radio that is for you. So reconnect with all, because you, and I think that it's for a lot of feminine at the moment, they all got a totally reset of the way of thinking, of the way of feeling, how they think about things. Don't make any big decisions till the end of March. Don't make any big decisions, because the energies are still coming out of confusion and coming more into balance. That's what I feel. So don't make big commitments or big decisions at this time, because when you get new initiations, you also will see the things in a different way and a different line. So that's really what is happening at this moment. Okay, and that is where you're heading. The ancestors are saying from, okay, you know, we totally prepared you for a new journey. We totally prepared you for a new way of seeing the things. And that is actually happening now with Neptune and Saturn going into Aries. Next week we have 6 planets in alignment, and that will also throw everything upside down. And we don't know, because actually the energy of Neptune needs to come to the Earth, and Saturn come to the Earth, so they would meet in Aries. But we're not knowing what the space stations have in mind, how they're going to reroute the energies. I am always on that. I will always follow that. So what are they withholding from us? What needs to be to the Earth, instead of, they could say, okay, you know, the planets are going into Aries, but we will reroute the energy of Neptune to the higher realms, and we just sending the energy of Saturn, you know, to the earthly plane. So they reroute the energies. And if we just getting Saturn energy to our earthly plane, a lot of chaos will come in. I can tell you that. It's already started, I hear. It's, you know, some big things are starting, and a lot of things will change, and I also see it will change for the better. Some things needs to get worse before things get better, and that's in our whole life. You know, sometimes you need to be stopped, you know, or realigned, or you get new initiations. So it's all in divinely planned and guarded. But we are protected, we are guarded here on this earthly plane, and what we're heading towards is really amazing. It's the shift to the actually new earth. And that I also hear, you know, if you want to raise your vibration to a higher frequency, make sure you tap into the 7th dimension. If you want to climb and anchor your energy in the 5-dimensional realm, you need to climb up to 7D to, you know, be able to shift, go up and down. And we really starting to anchor this energy for the divine masculine. Wow, your crown chakra is activated. You have the right to know, resolving issues of attachments to the external world. So know that you need this attachment, detachment, that it's needed for you, because otherwise your energy gets too shattered. So know that you're always in alignment with the divine, and that you are, when you are in that divine energy, and when you take your step back in your energy, take a step back in your energy, disconnect for a while, you know, then it's easier to resolving issues, but it's also easier for you to hear and listen to what is being said to you by the higher, by higher source, by the universe, by God, by Goddess, you know. Listen to your heart, because your heart has a special way of moving, and has a special way of finding its way, I hear, finding its way. And when you follow that heart, you know, you will reach the right destination. Yeah, really, really beautiful. So yeah, resolving the issues that needs to be resolved, and then, you know, follow that heart, you know, keep that. We all getting those challenging moments in our life, and when that comes in, we know that the masculine and the feminine energies are out of balance, and that needs to be come back in balance within yourself. And when that is in yourself, you know, then it's you accomplished your mission. That's what I hear. In the heart space, earth angel. You're an earth angel. You're sensitive. You have divine abilities that is coming from ancient timelines. You have a lot of things in your life that you see from a higher perspective, not all from the same perspective. You're kind and you stand up for yourself, and that's what an earth angel does. Sometimes, you know, the earth angel says, okay, standing up for yourself, but sometimes it's too small, and then you're coming in that space of reaction here. It's too small to even think and to give it attention, you know, and that's what you where the balance is coming back into your system, because going up and down, you're right, you're wrong, you know, everybody has a different truth. So let them be, you know. It's not that you need to be silenced by other people, or you let yourself be silenced by other people, but it's more like, okay, I take a step back and I observe the situation, and if I see that things are changing, you know, instead of making things worse by commenting or making a remark on it, but take a step back and observe the situation, you are able to resolve the situation or resolve things, instead of making it bigger, making drama, making the other person feel like they're shit or whatever. No, that's not the way of the divine, you know. That's the way of the mind. And we all know communication is a weird thing, but we also know the communication with the divine is our truth, how they channel it to us. And not everybody carries that same frequency, that same ability to see the things on your way. So most of the time I say, okay, I observe the situation, don't give a reaction, and sometimes people try to get that reaction out of you, isn't it? So it's better than to step back and observe and see how they treat you, how they treat other people, how they communicate. And if they keep communicating on a way that is not in alignment with you, Get yourself out of that situation, because then they're not the right people for you. You know, you don't have to be teared apart by other people, or put down by other people, if they don't have any respect for you. You know, get out. That is what I do. Sometimes if they don't respect me, I get out. I observe the situation and I say, okay, let's see how that works out. Give it time, because time will shift and time will change and time will do more things for us than we react right away. Restore. Most of the time we need time to restore divine masculine if that happens. You know, you're probably too tired, or you're overwhelmed, or you're overloaded, or you had too many things and it becomes too much, and the questions and the commands that you get is too much. Then you say, okay, then there could be a time that you can flip, you know. But then, you know, reacting too much, then you know it's time to restore, retreat, and take time for yourself. You know, time out, go into nature and listen to the shamanic signs. You know, listen to the signs of the shamans, of nature, of what is coming in for you. You know, listen to those signs. What is the universe telling you both? You're a crystal child, crystal children, divine masculine and the divine feminine. You are crystal children. You have a natural core, you're pure and is innocent, and you're removing all falsehood. You're removing all falsehood from your life, not only from your life, but also in the world. You know, maybe you see dishonesty, maybe you see and you want to react on it. And just hold that reaction, please hold it, because in this time, you know, everything is explosive. with these two planets entering Aries, the transition, let's say it like that, the transition is explosive. Later on it will calm down and you come back in a better environment. But now, your first intention is remove all the falsehood, but you know, let it dissolve by itself, because you're a clear person. You want transparency, you want to see the things that happen. You saw the things, what is happening now, you saw it already 10 years ago, you know, and people called you all kinds of names because you were a conspiracy terrorist. And now at the end, you know, all the seers were right. And because we get the information from a source that the mind, the occupied mind, can't reach. So, and they have to give it a name, they have to give it you know, I always say, if you're not agreeing with something, or you don't get the benefits of it, there will be a resistance. And if you master that resistance and you let it unfold by yourself, by how it needs to be unfolded by time, you know, time will tell the truth. Time will tell what's right or wrong, and it's not right or wrong. It's not black and white, you know. We are all to try to get it back in balance, and that's what the universe sees in both of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That you are natural of core, that you're pure, that you're innocent, and that you're removing all falsehood, that you're a clear channel, and that you're a seer. And you need to believe in that, you know. I always say I'm perfectly imperfect because I don't have all the answers. I get only channeled and give the answers that I need to give to you. So, and for the rest, I'm perfectly imperfect, and I'm totally fine with that. And I hope that there are more people out there that they're perfectly fine with their imperfections, you know. So embrace your imperfection, because that makes you unique. And that's what they say. Embrace your imperfections because that makes you unique. Yeah, that is for the divine masculine and the divine feminine, because you're transparent, you're not hiding anything. You want to see the truth, you want to see everybody in balance and happy, and sometimes that's not what you can ask, you know, because we're living in this huge imperfect no, perfect imperfectional world. So I think that that there is only one planet in the whole galaxy that has so much chaos as Earth, you know, and it is Earth. And we all have to figure it out on our own, and we all have to figure it out together. And there will be a time of peace, I hear. And I'm heading towards 2028, 2029, that there is peace on this world. So write it down. I would say write it down, because when that happens, yeah, they probably will say you're out of it. But I hear 2028 and 2029 will be the time of peace on this world. Okay, what is on the crown chakra of the divine masculine? Yeah, you know, it's time to, because it's upside down and it's giving you not the love, but it needs that you need to restore, that you need to withdraw a bit, and not share too much from yourself, not to share too much energy with other people. Keep some energy for yourself. And what's in the heart space? In the heart space for the divine masculine, there's a burden. You know, maybe he carries too much from the past, too much energy that is coming up, because that's also what this energy is drawing out. Everything from the past is revisiting your life, and you think, okay, how is this coming? How is this coming? What did I do at that time? So go back 39 years ago and see what happened in that time 39 years ago. And then you can see if that is in aligning and is coming back into your life again. So let go of that burden. Sometimes it's a karmic thing, or it's a pattern that needs to be broken. Okay. And on the restore, it's the inner child that says, I can't sit still, I can't move, I need to move, I need to do this, I need to do that. And sometimes it's time to take a step back. And when you take a step back, it's good for you. Maybe not good for your wallet, but it's good for you, you know, to take a step back. But when you restore and you come back in your energy again, you can go on again. You know, you can do the things that you want to do again, and everything will speed up. What was, you know, it will give you everything you lost. It will return it back to you in threefold. So that's what you need to remind, that everything you lost will come back to you in three, because it is everything what's in store for you will come to you. But if there is an energy that is not in alignment with your highest good, take a step back and go in that restore mode. It could be that you need to restore something, you know. On the balance again, you know, the moon, and we have here the moon and the sun together. So it's the perfect balance, the moon and the emotions. You know, be present with your emotions in this time for the divine feminine. That's what the divine masculine sees. And you get activations, you know, you get totally activated almost throughout this whole year. Prepare yourself for all these activations, and that will bring up sometimes some emotions. And if you see things, for instance, in your dreams or whatever, and you wake up and you still remember that dream, you can reverse it, you know, you can change that dream. And if it was a nightmare, or it was a bad dream, or it was something bad you saw, you know, and that is a kind of trauma, what you saw, then it's now time to shift it and to give it a better, for yourself, a better outcome. Not dismissing what happened, but for yourself, changing that energy so you can live with it, so it's easier. So the real hardship is getting off that emotion. So that's, yeah, work with it and be present with your emotions, because that's where the healing comes from. Wow, the Lovers, or the High Priestess. Yeah, it's the High Priestess. Wow, that's interesting. Why I say the Lovers. Integration. And that's for the High Priestess. You maybe you have secrets. Maybe you have things that need to integrate your skills. And I also hear the High Priestess has skills, and she doesn't always need to show it, you know, because sometimes she has this veil that she can look beyond, and when she looks beyond the veil, she don't need all the tools to exercise what she needs to see. And I see, because you're integrated everything already in your system. You know, if they say, okay, for instance, it's a small thing, you need to burn a candle, you know, you can also visualize a candle in your third eye, and then it's already there. You know, you don't always need to physical do the things, because the universe picks up your state of mind, it picks up your frequency, and it picks up how you materialize it into this world. So that's the integration. It could be that you meet, you know, not only a High Priestess, but you also meet a High Priest. You know, it's masculine and feminine, that you're on the same level, that you are doing the same things, but then on a different way. The doors are opened, and let go of everything what is not soothing you. Sometimes when we are in places You know, we all have these amazing spiritual tools, you know, and sometimes you're at places that you don't have the tools around you to really physical exercise it. It works just as fine when you visualize it. You know, it doesn't need to have everything materialized, because when we're going back to ancient times, we didn't have wands, because when you had a wand, for instance, to show that you were a witch, you would be burned at the stake, and we had other tools for it. So also when you're not having all your tools with you and with you to carry, you know, there are always things around you that you can manifest and that you can visualize and do the things that you need to do, because it's just as strong if, and it's been picked up. It's been picked up. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. You know, we don't always need our physical tools. And then integration and initiation is, after the initiation, you need to get your balance back. Truth will come out. You've been seen, you've been weighed, you've been coming back in balance, and things will always get its justice. You know, that's what I say, but always try to be kind and friendly. If you're, but you can put your boundaries up when people want something from you that you're not able to give at that time, at that moment. So most people don't think about those things, and they just want it now, you know. And sometimes, and when you're in balance, you know you're not able to give it at that moment, at that time, or you're not capable to fulfill those wishes. So that's is where you're going through all your initiations. We're going randomly in the old system. We're going through 21 initiations in our lifetimes. In the new realm, we're getting every day, we have a new initiation. We have a new energy that comes through that brings us more clarity. So when we're doing this and we're working with those energies, you know, and we give things time, then everything has its time to shift and change. Also people shift and change. So when they are one day very nasty, or you know, and the other day they're very nice and clear, that means they're going through an initiation, they're going through a struggle, or they're going through something in their life that we need to be careful with, you know, and be aware of what the energies are doing with them. So sometimes when you have a burden and you're overloaded, yes, then it could be that that there is a snap. Give it time. Don't always react on it. Give it time to balancing the things out, and give it. Sometimes people will need space, you know, maybe space from you or space from themselves, but it is always they need time. And time will tell. That's where it comes from. Time will tell if something works out or not. Or you have already your standard and say, okay, this was the third, fourth, or fifth time. I'm not even going there. I'm moving on. You know, if it's not in alignment, if it's not in the same vibration, I'm moving on. And that's what the universe also asks from us. Don't linger too long into something that you try to work or make it work and it doesn't work, then let it go. It could be the 5th or the 6th time you try something and it didn't work out for you. But maybe the 7th or the 10th time, you know, because of your perseverance, it does work for you. So it's just where you are at, which initiations did you get, what did you move through which portals did you move through to receive the things that you need to receive in chaos or in balance. It doesn't matter. Everything in the end will come back to balance. It will balance itself out. So yeah, one card for the universe. Yeah, of course, the crystal children, they are in balance, they are in temperance, they know how to give and how to take. Those two children, the masculine and the feminine, are in balance. That's your natural core, you know, because you're pure, you're innocent, you don't have alternative motives towards people, because that's your heart is pure. And everything what is not pure and what has alternative motives, you move it out of your energy, because sometimes it's the universe that does it for you, because those people doesn't need to be in your life. Okay, so keep that energy going, you know. And people that deliberately create chaos in your life, get it out, because we all deserve balance. Okay, all the love, all the blessings. Bye bye.